First of all, before I begin this video, I'd just like to offer a huge thank you to the entire APS Army/family. I began After Prison Show shortly after being released from prison after serving 7 years, and it was this project and channel that quickly became my main focus. I knew After Prison Show had the potential to stand for something really great, and it's because of all of you who take the time to watch these videos and also support After Prison Show to the fullest that this thing truly is as awesome as it is. So again, thank you. But enough with the sappy stuff. This isn't a Lifetime movie after all. In this video, I want to show you 5 cartoons that I created while locked up. Some of them are pretty crazy, and every last one of them that you will see in this video has a story behind it. So without further ado, let's begin. Oh wait, there is something else I have to say and also show you before we dive into the cartoons. First, there will be a giveaway in this video. Stay tuned to the end to find out just what that is. And also, I want to show you a picture that was taken while I was locked up. So this is a picture that was taken while I was locked up. This is me and my buddy. You'll never guess what his nickname is. His nickname was Big Bubba. I don't know why or how he got that nickname, and it's probably best that I don't know. But anyways, this picture was actually taken at an art fair inside of the prison. Me and Big Bubba there are actually standing in front of this little display that was displaying cartoons I had created while locked up. So again, yes, that's me and Big Bubba. This first cartoon I want to show you, this is a pretty crazy cartoon. And what makes it so crazy is the fact that this is actually one of the very first cartoons I created. This was really at the very beginning of my time. This was actually created back in 2009. And as I hope you can tell from this cartoon, it's pretty old. It's not that great of a cartoon first and foremost, but this cartoon does speak volumes. Because what this cartoon is actually about is how my prison sentence first started. I spent a lot of time laying in my bunk, not wanting to do anything, pretty much completely miserable. There's like a little calendar on the wall right there. I'm not really sure if you can see that or not. And really just look how crazy this character looks laying in this bunk, who is supposed to represent me. His hair is completely a mess. He's got this Tom Hanks type castaway beard going on. This is actually pretty spot on to exactly what I was looking like at the beginning of my incarceration. And in this cartoon, you can see this other guy basically coming up to the bunk, literally pulling weeds out of the bunk, because when you spend so much time just laying in your bunk, hygiene and personal care really just isn't that important. I was totally depressed during this time, and really I didn't care about anything at all. But in this cartoon, this other prisoner is coming up to the bunk and he's saying, man, you can't do your time this way. You've got to start getting out of that bunk more often. And this other prisoner would represent that one friend, if I had any friends at all during my prison sentence at this point in time, who was actually trying to help me adjust to all of this. But what's even more crazy than how horrible this cartoon looks, how much of a hot mess I actually was at the beginning of my prison sentence, is the caption that is written underneath this cartoon. And again, mind you, this cartoon was created in December of 2009. That's like 8 years ago, I think. I don't know. I suck at math. But look at what that says. It says, make the most of every day. And of course, that is the absolute last thing that I say in every single video here. It's just ironic to see where this saying actually began to have meaning in my life. Only 1 year into my prison sentence, this saying actually gained meaning and purpose in my own life. I think that's pretty crazy. This next cartoon I want to show you, it's pretty crazy as well. This cartoon was created deeper into my incarceration. I was being housed in a dormitory type housing unit. It just means there are no cells inside of that housing unit. It's basically just a big warehouse with bunks inside of it. And there was a guy that used to sleep pretty much directly across from my bunk. If my bunk is right here, he literally slept like right here. So my bunk is here, his bunk's like just a little bit in front of mine, but basically when he's laying in his bunk, he's facing me, and I would see this guy always just staring at me. It was one of the most uncomfortable things I had to deal with while being locked up. Anytime I would lay in my bunk, I could look over, and this guy is literally, here's my face, dude. Do you want it? Can I get my face back? I mean, it was literally like that. So while looking at this cartoon, I had a nickname for this guy. I used to call him the always suspicious weirdo who sleeps across from me. And what you can see him doing in this cartoon, he's in his little locker area, pretty much guarding whatever kind of sacred treasures lie inside of his locker. But anytime that he would go to his locker, open it up, he would always get down just like he is in this cartoon, basically get in his little defense mode and begin to look over at me, staring at me in the most suspicious manner ever. And that is exactly why I drew this cartoon about this guy, because this guy used to freak me the fuck out. And so you can see me laying in my bunk actually drawing this cartoon in this cartoon. What I've depicted in this cartoon is me drawing this cartoon. You can also see my TV, which is basically hanging from the top bunk. We would have our little makeshift string made out of torn pieces of sheet, and that's what you would use to literally hang your TV up right there. I even had this little receiver box that you can't really see right there to help the TV get better reception, but more importantly, came with a remote control. If you had a TV in prison, that was one thing, but if you had a TV in prison with a reception box and a remote control, you were big pimpin'. And at this point in my incarceration, I was to a certain degree big pimpin'. I was the tattoo man after all. Plus I ran a pretty lucrative porn picture business while also locked up. This next cartoon I want to show you basically depicts the groups that we had to sit through at this last prison that I was housed at, where groups were pretty much a part of everyday, all-day prison life while here. And while sitting through these groups, in most cases, you would have the young, somewhat attractive female counselor in the front hosting these groups. In a lot of cases, talking about stuff that guys just really did not care about. A lot of prisoners, including myself for the most part, found these groups to be absolutely useless. But looking at this cartoon, it depicts a lot of what those groups were actually like. First of all, you can see the young, somewhat attractive female counselor hosting this group. To one side of her sits a prisoner at a desk. His job was to watch prisoners in the group and write their names down if they were doing anything other than paying attention to what was going on in that group. This prisoner's job was somewhat similar to a prison guard's job. And prisoners who had these jobs usually caught quite a bit of flack for having them. But in most cases, they would try to put the biggest, baddest prisoner in that position. And you can actually see in this cartoon, the guy that I drew there, he's a pretty big dude. To the other side of the female counselor, you can see another prisoner talking to her. You would have these prisoners who would try to talk to these counselors, try to get their attention, keep their attention for as long as possible, talking to them about anything that they felt these counselors would want to hear about. In most cases, it was just a bunch of senseless bullshit. But directly behind that prisoner, you can see the peeping Tom literally looking over from the shower area. Yes, that little area that I've drawn right there in the cartoon. Well, behind that is the shower area. And prisoners would go back there, peep over that wall, and jerk off to these counselors. You can rest assured that that guy right there, he's jerking off behind that shower wall to that female prison counselor. You can see the rest of the people who were actually sitting in the group. The one guy who is literally tearing his plastic chair in half because he's going so crazy from having to sit through this bullshit. And completely over to the other side is me. I guess that's supposed to be me talking to another prisoner. And I guess I'm saying to this guy, so this is what these groups are like here. A couple of guys try to impress a counselor who could care less. Some pervert stalks her from behind the shower wall, and the rest of us go crazy due to the madness of it all. It's a pretty crazy cartoon. It goes without saying that this next cartoon is definitely pretty crazy, as it depicts masturbation in prison, especially in prison showers. Now, before I show you this cartoon, I want to tell you that trying to masturbate in prison is not the easiest thing in the world to do. One, there really is no privacy in prison at all. You're not going to find very many moments where you don't have 20 different sets of eyes on you at any given time. So to even think about possibly trying to go find a place to squeeze one off, sometimes it's not as easy as you may think. But the prison shower does tend to be a place where that can happen. If you can get the entire shower area to yourself, good luck with that. But it does happen. And what prisoners would do is they would go into this shower area, usually put a chair, a broomstick, something to block off the entrance to actually walking into the shower area. And if you walked into the bathroom and saw any kind of obstruction sitting right there, preventing you from walking back to that shower area without you having to move something first, that was the ultimate indication that something was going on back there that you definitely did not want to see. And while back there handling their business, prisoners would take books, magazines, pictures that I had sold them, and they would at times tape these up to the shower wall so that they could wash their ass with one hand, look over at the wall, and handle their business with the other. And if for whatever perverted reason you're curious as to whether or not I ever did that, of course I did. I was locked up for almost a decade after all. So looking at this cartoon, you can see the shower area, the pictures actually taped to the wall right there, the water running and the hand in motion. I think I did a pretty good job depicting the actual pictures on the wall, just for little stick figure drawings basically. But what this cartoon really depicts the most is that at times while you were back there in that shower area with those pictures taped to that shower wall, and with whatever obstructions you have in the way, whether it's a broomstick, chair, trash can, caution tape, I have literally seen guys somehow find caution tape and put that up before they go back there to do the dirty deed. But again, no matter what the obstruction is in the way, preventing in some way entrance to that shower area, you will always have at least one instance where some asshole is gonna walk right back there no matter what. Moving that trash can, tearing down that caution tape, yo, back shower. You good? What? No, I'm not good. Didn't you just see all of that stuff you had to move out of the way to get back here? No lie, I could literally tell you 100 stories of me actually getting caught masturbating in prison. It's pretty embarrassing. This last cartoon that I want to show you again deals with sitting through these groups while in prison. There was this one particular type of group that we would have to sit through. It was called a TPAP. TPAP. I think that's how it goes. I cannot remember exactly what the hell this stood for. Therapeutic Process Awareness I can't remember exactly. Therapeutic Punishment, something along those lines. But what this group would be was literally putting on blast a prisoner for his negative behavior. If a prisoner was breaking some sort of stupid rules in the prison, and in a lot of cases, these rules that they were getting T-papped for, not T-bagged, T-papped for, were the stupidest damn reasons ever. But what these T-paps would entail is that prisoner would have to stand up in the middle of that group with everybody else seated around him, basically almost like witnessing an execution. And there would be these certain prisoners, those prisoners that I had mentioned earlier in this video, these prisoner/prison guards would get up there and literally just start ripping into these other prisoners. I mean, basically saying the craziest stuff that they could spew from their mouth, the most horrible shit to these guys. I mean, this could literally be for like not pulling up to group on time. If group is at 3 o'clock and you brought your chair up to the group at 3:05, you could get T-papped for this. While that prison counselor basically stood over top of them with her little strings and puppet gear, basically like a puppeteer. So looking at this cartoon, that is exactly what you're looking at. One of these T-paps actually in process. A group I recently sat through where a prisoner acts puppet-like for a female counselor while addressing another prisoner's negative behavior. Word for word, verbatim. I don't know if you're smoking crack or shooting dope, but you need to back some of those CCs out of your arm. And in the picture, you can see the female counselor in the background basically holding her puppet stick. The guy with the strings on him is obviously the prisoner/prison guard. The guy with his arms behind his back is the negative behavior prisoner. And the little pig-looking thing standing over there to the side, well, that is actually pretty spot on for this female correctional guard that we had at the prison. She kind of looked like a little pig. That's why I drew her that way. And you can see me on the other side over here basically talking to another guy who is looking shocked by all of this. And I'm saying to him, this type of shit is exactly why I draw cartoons. Just wanted to show all of you those 5 cartoons. Believe me, I have many more if you enjoyed these. And before I end this video, I want to do some sort of a giveaway. I actually have printed off copies of these cartoons that I just showed you in this video. So that's 5 cartoons right here that I'd like to sign, write a little something nice to 5 lucky winners out there. I will pick those from the comment section of this video. Just comment and let me know what your favorite cartoon in this video was. I'll pick from those and we'll give away some cartoons tomorrow. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and those cartoons. And if you did so, please leave a like and a comment. Let me know exactly which ones you liked. And until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted. And like I said in that very first cartoon, make the most of every day. Peace! Let's give a few shout outs from yesterday's video. Some people who told me something about Slick from that video. Let's shout out C. Lauren, who said that their name is Fire from the Bronx, Alex Trombley, Chris Cochran, Mojo Rising, Vladimir Salamatin, and Claugie. Thanks to all of you and to everyone else. And until next time, peace!